Welcome, Daniel, to the Not Just Leadership podcast. Great to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no, thanks so much for the invite. Much appreciated.
Really appreciate you being here. And we might kick things off by just letting you introduce yourself, because I feel like you're the best person to describe, who you are and where you come from and what you do. So if you just give us a little bit of an introduction of who Daniel is.
Yeah, sure. Well, my name is Daniel. I'm originally from Colombia. I've been here in Australia for about 10 years. So now I'm Colombian Australian. I initially came here actually for just only 6 months to study English. I think that most of migrants start to study like that. And through the process, I started to go to different visas and then do a master's degree in sustainable energy. Then I started working as an engineer. From there, I got the sponsor through my employer. And then, then decided to start here alive. And then I'm just now with my partner with a dog. So living in the north side of Brisbane. What else can I tell you? Well, currently working as a principal engineer for Arc Energy, which is a small consulting firm developing energy projects in Australia. I also like to think of myself like a community builder. I'm the president of ALIPE, which is the Australian Latin American Young Professional Society here in Brisbane. I'm also part of the Sustainable Engineering Society for Engineers Australia. And now currently I'm working on a project to help migrants get into professional jobs. So that's kind of a summary of all the things that I do.
So very much a professional in the engineering space. But if you got people to describe you beyond your title, how would people describe Daniel?
I think that will be I'm a dreamer, I'm a learner, I'm a doer. I like to do too many things sometimes, I think.
Relatable.
I'm involved in whatever I see that I can add value. I like to help people. One of the things that drive me is how can I support people to achieve their goals. And that's probably why I'm involved in so many projects like Alive, like Job Pro, like Latinos. I like to support the community, try to do what I can to make this work a little bit better.
Yeah, I think we've when we first met, it must have been was it May last year? I think 2024.
I think so.
In Melbourne at the Australia Latin America Young Leaders Dialogue, and I feel like we've seen each other so many times since then. Networking events around Brisbane. So you really stand out to me as like a very passionate and energetic young person who, as you mentioned, like trying to support your community here in Brisbane and Australia. And I guess like growing up, you grew up in Colombia. What was your childhood like in Colombia? Where are you from? And share a little bit about your early days.
Sure. Well, so I'm from Bogota. So Bogota is the capital city of Colombia. I grew up in a middle-class family. Let's say that in Colombia we have a structure of the economy and social structure on a strata, which is probably a bit different than is in Australia. So depending on your societal level and economy, then they distribute the cities. So my grandparents, they come from a really humble beginnings. So both of them are from a small town in Colombia called Monpós, which is a national heritage city in Colombia. But it's a really small city. There is not a lot of development. Well, there is a bit of development coming now, but both of them. So my grandmother, from my mother's side, she migrated to Bogota to just find a better future. And my father also did the same from the other side. So I guess that migration has a bit of influence in my family from the beginning. And then from there, well, I was happy that they create their own economy, their own future. I was able to, growing in a middle class family in Colombia, I was able to decide where did I want to study and what did I want to study. And I guess that I was really fortunate about that because there is not everyone has that facilities in Colombia. So there is people that has a lot of money and then there's people that don't have much. So being in the middle has been quite good for me because I can kind of see both sides of the world. So yeah, I grew up in a family that was pretty united. So I have two siblings, one brother, one sister. I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was lucky to have that. I guess those values from my parents on trying to help others, trying to find what is your purpose, and trying to find your happiness too. So they always. When I think of my childhood, I always reminds happy moments. Sharing with we have a big family, so always traveling around to visit my family up north in the coast.
Yeah.
So I'm the only. I think that our family are the few ones that are Rolos, which is what they call people from Bogota.
Yeah.
But most of my family are from the coast. So I think that happiness and that vibe is coming from there.
Yeah, and when I went to Bogota October last year for a conference, I caught up with Jamie, is your cousin?
Yep.
Yeah. So I got to see a little bit of Bogota. I was only there for, it was only really 3 days, just in and out for the conference. Spent some time in Brazil before and after, but Colombia is such a rich country in heritage and history and beautiful people. And so many of you are now here in Australia, particularly in Brisbane as well, big Colombian community.
Yeah.
How did you find the originally coming to Australia? Like, was it for study or for work? And did you connect in with Colombians immediately, or how was it? How was that? I guess jumping a little bit forward to when you came to Australia, how was your transition and arrival here?
Well, yeah, I guess that when I came here, I initially came because I was made redundant on my job. So I was looking for opportunities. I always wanted to travel abroad, and I saw Australia as an opportunity. At that time, my cousin was living here, so I initially came to Sydney, and I started creating my network around people from Colombia. So because that was he was my support when I came here, so he helped me to find a place to live, find a job, things like that. So.
And what year was that?
I think that was August 2016.
Yeah. Almost 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
9 years now.
Yeah, 9 years now. So it has been quite a journey. But yeah, so initially it was kind of a bit of a Colombian community. Yeah. But then when I started going into the English school, because I came to study 6 months of English, then I started to meet people from all around the world. So I have lots of friends from Brazil, lots of friends from Taiwan, from Japan, from China, Indonesia. So it was really amazing for me to see people from so many different places. I think that was something that I didn't expect when I came to Australia. I guess that my first thought was I'm just gonna go there and I'm just gonna meet Australians or people from Latin America. But now I think that strikes me when I came here. See so many people from different countries living together was really amazing.
Yeah, and I guess at what point did you have this desire to be a community builder, as you used that word earlier? I really like that word. Was that something that you always felt growing up in Colombia, that you were someone who had this like leadership skill, or was that something you more developed when you arrived here in Australia and you saw an opportunity to connect and upskill and empower your community here in Australia?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I don't know how I've been always someone that likes to be around people. I like to think of myself like a people person. I have always, my family always laugh because I have always lots of friends. I like to be around people. Like when I was young, I like to be involved in different sports. I like to party a lot, go out, meet people. So I think that was always embedded on me, but I didn't actually believe that as a leadership skill that I can make an effort to, build a community or something like that. I think that the first time that it struck to me was when I was in Sydney. One of my friends, I was having a difficult time at the time, and I was thinking just going back to Colombia. And one of my friends invited me to a networking event. And then I started meeting some Colombians and meeting people working in the industry.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably the first time that I thought, oh, maybe this is interesting. I would like to learn more. And then through the Master of Sustainable Energy at UQ, they encourages us to do a lot of networking. So then I realized the importance of networks, especially for when you're a migrant, having those networks is really important. And they kind of taught us that through the masters. And when I graduated and I started working as an engineer, I realized that there were a lot of Latin American professionals working as a professionals in the industry. But when I was outside doing other jobs, I didn't realize that that was the case. So I kind of started building the community just to show other people that there was Latin professionals working in the industry, and if they were able to reach out their goal to be working as professionals, then anyone can do it. So that's where I started building the community, and I think that that was probably about 2018, 2019, when I started to realize, okay, maybe. I mean, I have probably these skills that I was not aware before. Let's do something about it.
Yeah, and when I've met a lot of the Latino community here in Australia, you find that they're often very highly educated back home, and they struggle to transfer their qualification here to Australia. So often they have to re-study. Did you mentioned your master's course, so did you find that as like your pathway back into the engineering sector, or did you what was your pathway into, I guess, connecting your work from Colombia here to Australia?
Yeah, I think that was I mean, there was a period when I was living in Sydney that I was just working for the Australia Post delivering parcels. And back in Colombia, I did petroleum engineering, so I was working in the oil and gas sector.
Yeah.
At that time, there was a downtown period for the oil and gas sector, so that's why I decided to come to Australia. And I was just working delivering parcels, but I was always on my mind. I was thinking always, well, I have more qualifications to do other jobs, and I was always my desire to go back to engineering. So that's why this networking event for me was important, because at the time I was kind of a bit lost on what I wanted to do. I have applied. At that time, I got my English certified, and I was already. I think that I had 2 applications for universities, one in Perth, one in Brisbane, to do further studies in engineering. So I thought maybe if I do a master's degree, then that will allow me to get back into the engineering industry. But when I applied to the universities, one of the things that was hard for me was the cost. As an international student, master's degree are really expensive. And I probably select one of the most expensive universities, Carleton University and University of Queensland, to studies. And going to that networking event helped me to realize that there were opportunities to apply for support visas and to apply for scholarships. So I applied for a scholarship in Colombia called Col Futuro that helps you it kind of is like a loan scholarship. So they give you the money to study, and you get a discount on the tuition fee. Okay. And then if you go back to Colombia, then you get that loan deducted. And if you don't, then you just pay it. Yeah. But it's a really good way. Was a really good way for me to study and to get back into engineering. So that was the pathway that I followed, going through a master's. But looking back, I think that there are many other opportunities than just going and doing further studies, because it's really expensive. I mean, the university for me was really amazing, because I learned a lot, and I got to meet really nice people, really good connections. So I don't regret doing that. But I know that not for everyone you have the access to that amount of funds to do the study. So that's where I think that doing these networking events can help people get it back into the industry, because even that we have, let's say, not barriers, but there are some things that are harder for international students, like visa, your degrees, or the English. Through the network, there are always opportunities there. So I think that's something that motivated me to be involved in life, and just try to support others to get back into the industry if that's what they want to do.
Yeah. And I think people really underestimate networking. Like, it can be a little bit scary at first, because if you go to an event, for example, where you know no one.
Yeah, it's really scary.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to many events like that before, and you always, like, my best advice is always just to, if you go to an event where you literally know no one at the event, there's normally probably someone there in the same situation as you. And they often might be standing by themselves, or you can kind of see who's comfortable and who's not comfortable. So my kind of strategy just to get the conversation going and to meet someone is to just look for someone who's either alone, because they're obviously looking for someone to speak to too, but they might be a little bit introverted. Or the other way is, like, if you go and get a drink or food, as you're lining up, you normally stand next to someone or get it at the same time as them. So you just strike up a quick conversation and then you introduce yourself. So do you have any like advice for networking? Like, I'm sure you've been to events where you haven't known anyone. How did you, like, are you introverted? Are you extroverted? What was your process to kind of introduce yourself and start to make those first connections?
Yeah. It's funny because I think of myself like an introvert, but talking to my partner, she said like you are not. But I feel like it's really hard to start that first conversation. It's really hard, and as you know, especially when you go to a place that you don't know anyone, you're just looking around, just tumbling your fingers there what to do. So one of the things that I do is just grab a drink and just reach out to someone. I was listening to the podcast that a good way to go and introduce someone is just to say, I think that I have seen you before. Where did we meet before? So it's like a good thing to enter into a conversation, and then the other person is like, I don't know where I met you, but yeah, well, nice to meet you again. My name is Daniel, and then you start the conversation from there. So that might be an option. Obviously, it will be awkward to do it all the time with everyone, but at least I think that when you go to a networking event, then you start that first conversation, and then maybe that person, then someone else comes that they know, and then they introduce to someone else, or someone else see that you guys are talking, and then someone else come by, so and then you start to connect from there. So I think that the hardest one is the first one. But then once you do the first one, then kind of you shake the nerves, and then you start meeting with other people. But yeah, just the first one is probably the hardest one.
Yeah.
My other tip will be arrive early to the networking events, because when you are there, whoever comes, then they'll go on with you because you are already there.
You're the only one to talk to.
Yeah, you are the only one to talk to. So if you are late, everyone is already in their conversation. They're already engaging. Will be harder to get into a conversation. But if you are there early, then you will be, I guess, more easily be approachable.
Yeah, no, that's great. I haven't heard that one before, where to say, I think I've met you before.
Yeah.
That's a good way to kind of, maybe the person might think, gee, I'm crazy. I don't think I've seen this person. But yeah, it's a good way just to break the barrier. Just, who cares? Introduce yourself anyway for the first time. Obviously, being in Australia and coming from another country, you've had probably a lot of different challenges. Are there any particular really big challenges that that you want to share, or that were like a turning point for you?
Well, I think that for me was one of the challenges for me was finding what I wanted to be. I guess that one of the beauties of Australia, one of the things that I like the most is that doesn't matter what you do in Australia, you will do well. So every job pays well. So it's kind of finding the right balance on getting the right money that you want and doing something that you love. So, for example, when I got into this comfort zone, working either as a waiter or working for the Australia Post or working as a bartender, I was in a comfort zone that I had enough money to live good, travel around, do the things that I like, but I didn't see myself working my whole life in the industry. You see, so I was always there, but I was always thinking how I can come back to engineering or to do something that I like it. I think that at the time for me it was engineering, so going back to engineering. But I think that kind of developed. So for me, one challenge was I don't know many people in the industry how I can get involved, and I overcome that through networking. So so for me was the main challenge was I have my degree, I wanted to work as an engineer, I have English already, I have my degree certified. How can I get back into the industry? And the answer was going through this networking event. So I went to this mentorship program run by Engineers Australia. They pair you with different mentors. One of them, so you get to pick from the person that you met that night, and you need to send an email and say, this is the three people that I think that I will be a good match with. So I remember that I select the president of Engineers Australia, my current boss, and then another principal engineer in another company. So I picked the three of them and say, well, whoever comes is going to be a good match. They paired me up with the president of Engineers Australia. So he gave me a lot of good advice. He helped me with my CV. He helped me with my LinkedIn, with my cover letter. He helped me to prepare for interviews and things like that. We applied with different jobs with him. Unfortunately, none of them were successful because for me, one of the other barriers were visas. So I went to, I think it was four interviews that I went to the process. I did a couple of interviews with each of the companies and they say, yeah, we like you. And then when it comes to, okay, let's discuss, I don't know, salary and expectations and things. And then the question that was always a barrier for me was, what is your visa status? And then at that time was weird because we were ending COVID and I had a visa that allowed me to work full time, but for 2 years. But the companies were reluctant to take me on board because they say, okay, you're getting into a graduate program, because I was applying for graduate programs because I applied for positions that match my skills and my experience, but I was not getting through. So I say, okay, I'll go to graduate levels, which is kind of bad because if you're already on a higher level, why do you go for graduates? But I thought that was maybe one point to start. So I went to the graduate programs and they say, oh, but you have only the 2-year visa and the graduate program runs for 2. So, wow, what's going to happen after we train you for 2 years and then you leave? So it was kind of a pushback from the company. So when I went through all the process, I never was able to overcome the challenge. And through the network that I had, I decided to one day go and had a coffee with my boss, which my current boss was one of my options for the mentors, but we didn't match up, they didn't match us up in Engineers Australia. But I connect with him on LinkedIn anyway. And I think that a year after I met him, I saw that he was posting a lot about energy, about gas, about carbon capture storage, hydrogen, that were topics related to my degree on oil and gas and also the Master of Sustainable Energy. So I reached out to him. I told him, oh, Andrew, hey, how you going? Would you be up to grab a coffee? I see that you have been posting a lot on these topics that I'm interested to. So I just want to learn more. And I was just genuinely just trying to get some insight from him, from the industry, and some advice on where can I apply for jobs and things like that. And then we grabbed a coffee. He told me, oh, this is what is happening in the industry. This is what might be coming in the future. These are the companies that you might be able to reach out. And at the end, he told me, like, have you been thinking about working maybe for a consulting company? And I told him, well, not really. I did a bit of consulting back home for an engineering company, but I was looking for a full-time role. So he told me, look, I like you. I like your skills. I like your degree. And I'm actually needing some support now because at that time there were only 2 people in the company. Right. I told me we are getting busier and I probably need some support. I cannot offer you full-time that you're looking for, but I might be able to offer you some casual for a couple of months and then we see how it goes. Yeah. And if everything goes well, if you like us and we like you and there is a pipeline of work, maybe we can offer you something else. And I told him, I was working casual for the University of Queensland at the time as a research assistant. Yeah. And I was doing the bartending role, so I kind of balanced the 3 of them at the same time. So I was doing casual in all of them. 3 casual jobs. Yeah, 3 casual jobs. But I kind of balanced it well because I was doing a bit of engineering. I was doing the fun job on bartending. It was good. So, and then 2 months into the job, he told me, "No, we like you. We need you. We're getting busier. I will offer you a full time." So, and then from there, I think that I had the 2-year visa. He knew it. Yeah. 2 years went by really quick, and then he said, like, "Oh, what we're gonna do? Your visa is gonna end," and I had applied for the skill visa program. He actually sent them a a message to the Department of Home Affairs. He said, "Oh, Daniel has applied for the skill visa. He has been waiting for 2 years and nothing has happened, but they have a really backlog because of COVID." So they replied back and say, "Look, we're too busy. He just need to wait on the line, but I'm just getting too tight for the time frame." I say, "Okay, what other options we have? Because we need you. We cannot let you go." And then I told him, "Well, the only option will be if you give me a sponsor visa." And he said, "Yep, let's do that." I mean, he didn't think about it. He was like, "Yeah."
Wow. Or from just like a LinkedIn message originally.
Yeah.
And so you had met him at this networking event.
Yeah.
And then you shortlisted him as a mentor, but you were matched with the other
with the
person.
yeah.
And then later on, you reached out again to catch up. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was it. Yeah. We didn't talk. So we talked on the mentoring program night, whatever it was for Engineers Australia. We were just chatting. Then we didn't match up because they put me with someone else. But I connected with him on LinkedIn. And then, probably a year after that, I just texted him. And so everything come down to LinkedIn messages saying just, "You want to grab a coffee?"
Yeah, so good. I have so many stories of LinkedIn messages, like meeting up with people all around the world. One example was not actually a LinkedIn message, but when I was living in France, working as an English assistant in a high school, I had participated in like a policy program here in Australia for young people. And so I messaged the CEO of the organization and said, "Hey, I'm moving to France and I'm living on the border of Switzerland." So I was very close to Geneva. It was like 10 minutes on the tram.
Okay.
And I messaged him and said, "Hey, if there's anyone I should meet in Geneva," because I was interested in networking because I was working 10 hours a week in a French high school. So I had time on my hands and I wanted to travel and network. And I said, "If there's anyone I should meet in Geneva, let me know." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll introduce you to the Deputy Australian Ambassador to the," wait, have I got the right wording? Deputy Australian Ambassador to the United Nations.
Okay. Wow.
And so I ended up having a coffee in Geneva with the Deputy Ambassador to United Nations from Australia. He's like, "What are you doing like in France?" He's like, "Tell me more about your background." I'm like, "Yeah, just here like on 6 months contract working as an English assistant." And that was October 2021.
Okay.
So I had to get permission to leave Australia because the borders were closed. And so, there weren't a lot of Australians traveling, and he obviously wasn't receiving any visits from Australian ministers or delegations because Australia was completely closed at that point.
Yeah.
So it's kind of advantageous for me. But I think even if he was like busy and all the borders had reopened, he probably would have still accepted to have a coffee. And I find that I'm not sure if it's specific to Australian culture, but I always find it's very easy to connect with Australian professionals and even diplomats overseas. If you've got a reason to meet with them and you're not just there to waste their time, they're normally pretty open. They'll pay for your coffee. They're keen to hear about you, and you can frame the message like, "I want to learn from you," and of course they're going to feel honored. Or if someone messages them, a young professional saying, "Oh, I want to learn from you. You're a great inspiration for me," they're probably going to give you 30 minutes or an hour of their day. And the worst case scenario is they'd just say no, like, "I'm too busy." Yeah. And then it's like, okay, no worries. Like, at least you've made the first step. They've seen your name. You've connected with one more person, even if you don't meet in person. So I could go on with a lot of different stories from LinkedIn, and like, you've seen me always like meeting different people. I think you're the same. Like, you just take the plunge, just send a message, and maybe you might get a job out of it. Maybe you might just meet someone and learn something from them. But there's really nothing to lose.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that story is really interesting, and one of the things that I like about Australia is the fair go. It's something that is really cool. I feel as a community that everyone is equal, and you kind of at the same level. It's something that I really like. So as you said, you can reach out to someone in politics, prime minister, or a counselor, and everyone will be up to a chat for a coffee. So it's one of the things is just go out, reach out, send LinkedIn messages, and just connect with everyone. Yeah.
Well, the theme of the podcast is obviously, the overarching theme is leadership, but the name is not just leadership. So I'm keen to hear like you've talked a little bit about, your leadership journey, but what does leadership mean to you? Like, it's a very fancy word. A lot of people interpret it different ways. What does it mean? What does leadership mean to you, Daniel?
Yeah, I think that we have I went to uni and I saw all the different leadership skills, leadership processes, how to become a leadership, and the different types of leadership. So looking at the theory, I think that I think of myself as a servant leadership. So I'm a leader that want to work for their people, like them to see them growing, reaching out their goals too. So I'm kind of that type of leadership that like to do things. Maybe sometimes I like to do more than I should be doing. I should be delegating more, but it's not because I don't trust people. It's just because I like to be involved in things. So I found like for myself, I have been more like trying to serve others, try to support others to grow, and at the same time helping me to grow, because when others are growing, I grow with them, because I'm learning from them, and we just thrive each other. So that's kind of the style that I like to follow.
Yeah. And was that servant leadership, was that shaped by your values growing up, or is it something you kind of learned when you were studying about leadership, this type of leadership that attracted you? Or what's the connection?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it might be a combination of both. I mean, I'm look at my parents, and my mom, for example, she's a very religious person. And she's always in church, helping the community. She's always doing all the lectures. She's organizing events for the church. I remember that she took me all the time to for Christmas. We always go out and meet with people that have probably less income or less opportunities. And we went there, share I don't know, a day with them, full day with them, trying to improve their skills, teaching them something, and then we share a meal. We share some gifts for Christmas. So I think that has been embedded in me since I was a child. And I remember that my father, he always used to tell me a phrase. I don't know if that's gonna sound good in English, but
You can say it in Spanish.
yeah, it's a Spanish phrase. So I'll try it. I'll try my best to say it. Is if you don't
say it in Spanish first, then.
Okay, well, in Spanish is el que no sirve para vivir. No, el que no vive para servir, no sirve para vivir. So it's like who doesn't live to serve is missing the point. I don't know. It's hard to translate the last bit, because it's like, if you don't live to serve, your life is not worth it. Something like that. Could be the translation.
Yeah.
So he always used to say that, and I remember that phrase. I don't know where he took that phrase, maybe from a book or something, but he used to say that a lot. So he was always supporting his community, also from people from the coast. So I remember that he used to have this group of people from Montpos, and they used to have these interactions where they share meals. They actually have a soccer team that play with against Rolo. So it was kind of that opportunity for him to serve to his community, and my mom used to do the same for as a Catholic, working for the community. So I think that's probably coming from there. And then when I started doing the master's degree and doing the management course, then I did the different type of leadership, and I said, maybe I'm more related to the servant leadership.
Yeah, it's something I identify with a lot as well. I think it's got that connection to faith and giving back to others, and at the end of the day, it's I think it's the best type of leadership, because it's not about you. Of course, you grow through the experience, so you get something in return, but at the heart of it is actually about seeing other people succeed. So I think it's it's something I should study more, this servant leadership topic, because it's always something that I hear coming up a lot with people I'm around, and I'm attracted to this I guess philosophy of leadership as well. And like, as young professionals, I guess we're always growing and always learning new things. Is there something that you feel like you're still learning or still growing, like on this journey of life, if let's put it that way, like very philosophical, but like, what are you learning about yourself, like, as you continue to be a leader in the community?
Yeah, I think that every day for me is learning. it's funny because my partner said that I'm a nerd. I always like to be doing something.
Yeah.
So I like that kind of person that is always looking to improve, looking to learn something else, getting into all the different courses that I can find online, trying to read a little bit more. So lately I have been kind of studying a lot on mindset, on leadership, how to be a better person too. So I kind of have been listening to different podcasts on how to improve yourself, how to be a better leader, how to be a better person, how to organize yourself too. Probably one of the things that I need to that I'm learning and I want to learn more is how to take the most out of my time. Because I like to do so many things, it's always hard to do all the things that I want to do. So try to improve. What do I focus my time on is one of the things that I wanted to learn. But I think that I'm always in a constant learning exercise through work. I mean, in engineering, you always learning different things. So I work in different projects, and every day is a new learning opportunity for me. But outside of work, I'm always trying to improve as a person and as a professional.
Yeah. I think that's a beautiful way to segue into the end of the podcast. So just wanted to wrap up and just if you can narrow it down to like one person who's really inspired you, would there be someone you could pick?
I'll probably go with both my parents.
Yeah.
I think that both of them have taught me a lot. So what I was saying before on trying to serve the community and find a purpose. So I think that both of them have found the purpose in their own way. So my mom through the church and through the faith, and my father through music and culture. So I think that they have taught me a lot on how to be a better person and how to also grow not just by myself but also lifting others. So I'll probably pick them as my guide.
In Latin America, you have families are very close. I find there and very connected, and it's important too here in Australia, but I find even more so in Latin America. Often, sometimes the children they live closer to the family than we do in Australia. Like I live very far from my parents here, and I've lived like since I was 18. I've lived a long way from them, so I feel like it's a beautiful thing in the Latino culture in Latin America. You know, the connection to the family and not just being close geographically, but close personally as well. So I'm sure, like being here in Australia, you probably constantly motivated by them, and it's a good driver to just keep going even when the times are tough.
Yeah, no, definitely, and that's probably one thing that I probably miss the most in Colombia. I mean, as you say, we have a really close relationship with our families. So I used to catch up with my cousins every now and then. Every couple of weeks we go out. Well, you met Jaime, so we're pretty close. So it's kind of that connection with the family is really important in the Latin American culture. I probably will say that that's probably the thing that you miss the most when you're outside is that you don't have that connection. I mean, nowadays it's pretty. I guess that is much better because you have internet, you have FaceTime, you have all these different tools that connect you to them. But it's not the same as just going. Yeah, it doesn't replace us. Goes there and share a meal, share a drink. So that's probably one of the things that you miss the most, and one of the things that you value the most when you're back there. So when I was there 3 years ago. I was able to reunite all my family, so all my cousins. So we went to countryside, and then we were like 50 people all together. So that's one of the things that we appreciate a lot, especially when it comes to special dates like Christmas, birthdays, anniversaries, and things like that. So yeah, definitely is part of our culture a lot.
Yeah. And so to finish up, what's one thing you wish you knew earlier? If like one piece of advice you could give to yourself, if your younger self, what's one thing you wish you knew?
I think it was the importance of networks.
Yeah.
I think that especially when you are a migrant, going out and put yourself out to the network is really important. So I wish that I went to that networking event when I arrived in 2016 instead of 2 years later. Because then it kind of helps you to it motivates you and helps you to find a pathway on where you want to go. The beauty of Australia is that you can do whatever you want. That's what I feel is a land of dreams. I always think of Australia as a land of opportunity. So you can do whatever you want to do, but it's finding what you want to do, what makes you happy, what is your purpose. And you can do that through networks. You can go out and meet new people and see, okay, maybe that's something that inspires me. So for me, for example, helping others is something that I like. And that's why I'm involved with Alive, Job Pro, and all the organizations that help people reach out different goals. So yeah, I think that importance of networking, go out and just introduce you to someone, maybe text, send them LinkedIn message, and you never know where it's that gonna end. So.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Well, Daniel, it's been a privilege to have you on the Global Institute for Leadership podcast, Not Just Leadership, and really inspiring to hear more about your story. And I've learned a lot as well. So keen to see where your career takes you and the connections you make here in Australia. So thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, no worries. No, thanks so much for having me here. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you.